Hello and welcome to the Year of Shame 2023. And now, let's go balls deep and meet this week's presenters.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Year of Shame Challenge. I'm Si Stevens, your host for this month. Joining me this time is the Welsh rarebit, Gav McPherson.
How are you doing, you alright?
The Haggis Killer, Ross Grieve.
Good evening.
And finally, the Naked Attraction, Jayce Stokes. But he may be joining us a little bit later on because he's currently preoccupied with a dinner meeting with some bloke he called the Scoff. Anyway, so let's kick it off, guys. How are we and what have we been up to?
Yeah, not too bad this month, not too bad. A few things happening, getting through it. How are you, Ross?
All good. Absolutely stinking of a hangover, which is great for a bank holiday weekend. I actually went and seen top band in Scotland last night, which was the Foo Fighters. That's not a missaying. Basically, Foo Fighters if you got them from Poundland/Wish.com. But yeah, it was actually a really good night. Got far too drunk, ate far too much, and I'm paying for it today. So yeah, typical for a bank holiday. What about you, Si?
Very little. I'm recovering from a weekend trip to Edinburgh as the wife and daughter went to see Harry Styles, and me and my boy went on a arcadey bowling food jolly round Edinburgh. So yeah, I'm pretty fresh. Looking forward to the extra day off. But other than that, yeah, all good. Looking to play some games. Anyway, I think we should kick off. Looking at the amount of questions we got this month, I think we should kick it off with a couple of them. And Toby James has asked that, well, he stated that he's just bought Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic again today on 2 formats because obviously one's not good enough. He's got 2 hands and 2 eyes. Because no Star Wars game has grabbed me like that one. And he gets Jedi Survivor tomorrow for free. Not sure how he's doing that, but we would welcome any of that information. But his question is, which spin-off game, comic, movie, TV, book in your piles are you most looking forward to and why? I'll throw it over to you, Gav, to start with.
Oh, probably one of the Assassin's Creed games. As I said, I've not played any of them, so I'm looking to crack on with some of them. But yeah, at some point I need to get one of them done, and I think it may be fairly soon, I think.
Does that count as a spin-off?
Yeah, they made a film of it, didn't they?
I think they made the film because of the game.
Oh, well, there you go. There's some sort of order to it.
It's not more of a spin-off. That was more of a spin-on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll do.
What about you, Russ?
To be honest, I've had Spider-Man sat on the PS4 for a long time now, and I really should get around to playing it. So yeah, I'm going to say Spider-Man, and I mean, I am a massive Marvel fan, so it should have been played by now, and I don't really know why it's not. So yeah, what about you?
I think I'll probably go for... I've got the 3 Vader Immortal episodes on the Quest. I think they were given to us free when you bought the Quest, or you got them super cheap. One of the two. But yeah, they've sat on there the whole time. I've never really put as much time into the Quest as I should have done. I tend to spend more time modding Beat Saber tracks into it for the kids more than I do actually playing the games. But I started playing a couple of Quest games this month, so I think maybe I might dip into Vader Immortal at some point in the next few weeks.
Nice.
As we have got quite a few of them, as I say, we'll have another one, our last one of Dave's questions, because he's managed to navigate all the milk bottles. He's asking, what's an obscure game you were into that you're sure not many others will have played?
I mean, I've had a think. There's nothing really that obscure that I can think of, other than there was a game that wasn't even released on the PlayStation, because I'm sure it was like a hooky copy. It was this thing called Thrill Kill. It was like a 4-player arena brawler type thing, and pretty much my first introduction to that level of violence in a game, where you had a guy that could rip his arm off and beat another guy with it.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't think it ever made it like to actual release. So it was very much I don't know, like off a market stall type thing with a magic PlayStation, shall we say? I'm sure Dave will have heard of it. It's just the kind of thing that I think Dave would know about.
You know,
Very
there's going to be a link
dubious.
to it. There's going to be a link to it on Facebook in about a few days' time now. Just so if I found this.
Yeah, if you've still got a copy, Dave, hook me up, because it's been a while.
What about you, Gav? Anything obscure in that collection of yours?
For me, it was a game I think I started playing back when you could rent games from Blockbuster, if you remember. And I rented one on the PlayStation called Star Wars Masters of Terrakasi. And I think then I had how can I put it, a PlayStation that played less than authentic games on recordable CDs.
So there's a theme here, isn't there?
And that sort of PlayStation eventually died, and so did the copy I had of that game. But about 10 years ago, when I managed to get an old PS1 going, I found a copy on eBay. So I managed to bid on it and play that, and I still got it. It still works. But it's an awesome. It's basically sort of Star Wars meets Tekken.
Nice.
So yeah, you can put a check on that obscure game.
I don't really have many obscure games. One I can think of was back on the Amiga CD32, and I call it obscure because I don't think many people had the Amiga CD32. And it was, I'm trying to think what the name of it was. It was basically you were like a film editor who had like his film stolen from him before the film was premiered. It was just a side-scrolling platformer. But yeah, I sunk quite a few hours into that, but I think that was more to do with the fact that I didn't have a lot of games for the CD32, and I just made do with crap at times. Premiere, that was the name of it, Premiere. Okay, let's move on away from our questions for a little bit, and let's have a look at some pile progress. How are you boys doing? Are you actually making any inroads on your piles, or are they just still sitting there gathering dust or digital dust at the moment? Gav?
Making some progress, mate. My wife started a new job, so getting time on games is a bit of an issue. But usually Tuesday, I'm sort of gaming with Dave Southall and other mate Gaz, and we're working our way still through Dying Light 2. That's a really, really big game, so we're going to be on that for a little while. It does get a lot better, mind. I found it, at first I wasn't sure whether I wanted to sink that much time into it. It was a bit of a chore, whereas you get the skill tree going, it becomes a much better game. So yeah, there's that. Still playing through a little bit of Modern Warfare 2, and as I said last month, I'm still playing through the story on The Line as well. That's still quite fun. Other than that, that's about it this month. Apart from, I'll just wait for the klaxon to arrive, but I may have some news.
There is news.
There is. I may have used the Joker.
Hey, someone's bought a game. We've
And it
got
wasn't
content
me.
again, boys.
It wasn't going to be Ross that was going to be the first to break, was it? It was going to be me. And it's no surprise. It's the game that I was wondering about when it was announced after I'd agreed to do the podcast. I thought I may struggle with, and it was absolutely the fear of missing out, and it was Jedi Survivor, and it was installed on the Xbox. And I said my wife started a new job, so she's away a couple of nights a week. Kids were in bed, and I thought I want something to do, and I want something thing. So fuck it, I've got a couple of hours. I'm going to play it. I didn't think there was going to be anything else that would really cause me too much of an issue the rest of the year. So I thought this has got to be it. And I waited. I saw the reviews, and the reviews are all glowing about it. And yeah, I just thought otherwise I'm going to end up seeing stuff on social media or people talking about the story, and I didn't want that. So
How long a game is it?
it's going to be a while, mate. I was playing through about an hour and a half, and I didn't get off the first planet. So yeah.
Well, that could keep you going for the rest of the year.
I probably will the rate I play games, mate, and it does have the same swear-inducing jumping model on it that your stamina just dies just before that one platform, and yeah.
So, but overall, like, how you find that? Do you say it's a worthwhile Joker?
It's
Any
just fucking
regrets?
awesome. It's fucking awesome, mate. It's brilliant. The gameplay's great. It plays just as well as the previous one. It just looks nicer and crisper, and it's not any spoiler, but the first you start off on Coruscant, and the way that you see stuff moving around you, and the sort of the vertigo-inducing views, it's all there. It looks brilliant. I can't recommend that game highly enough.
Let's hope it's not just a honeymoon period and you don't turn into another Black Desert Online.
So now I've used my Joker. It's up to you guys now. You're free. You're not the first one to backle, so you've got free reign.
Excellent. I'm off to buy fucking Disney go-karting.
Is that not free? I think it's going to be free, isn't it?
It's going to be like Dreamlight, isn't it? It's going to be free to hook you in, and then all the fucking Mickey pounds are going to have to be spent.
Yeah, have Disney ever done anything for free? Really?
No.
There's always a cost, isn't it?
Yeah. What about you, Russ? How are you getting on with your piles? Are they still causing you issues?
After last night's food? No, wait, sorry. Progress. I've played quite a lot. This month, got quite a few crossed off completed. So I'll just start from the top. Mafia Definitive Edition. Played through that. Just focused on the story. Wasn't too bothered about the 5 million collectibles in it. So basically played through story. Really good story. Can't really say how much it changed from the original release because it's been that long since I played that as well. But yeah, enjoyed that. Back to Grounded because they done another content update for it with a new boss, so that got us another couple of nights enjoyment on Grounded before it's just sat in purgatory waiting on hopefully some more content down the line. From Grounded we went to Doom Eternal because I'd started that years ago when it first came onto Game Pass. Well, maybe a year, I don't know. Whenever it came on Game Pass, I'd started it, played maybe one or two of the missions. So put that on, and I'll be honest, I was really close to just sacking it off. I was getting really, really frustrated with it. I just kept fucking dying. And I don't know, maybe it's age catching up with me. I just couldn't fucking keep up. It was far too fast paced. So dropped the difficulty a bit and then just started progressing slowly. But as you sort of unlock the skills that come with the campaign play, it gets a lot better. So yeah, finished that off. Really glad I stuck it out because it was really quite fun in the end. But again, looking at the achievement list, I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm done. So that's gone. Need for Speed Heat gets a 5-minute mention. I tried it, and I got fucking really fucked off with the sort of police chase mechanic, where you can get arrested while you're travelling at 100 miles per hour because they nudge you and it takes away your vehicle health. What the fuck?
Your vehicle health.
Yeah, vehicle's got health. If the police ram into you enough, you just get instantly arrested. And the way that it's like progression's kind of locked behind not getting caught. So you go out at night and you do like illegal races and you build up your rep or whatever. But if you get caught, that gets reset, so you lose it. So it's like there's the whole risk v reward type thing. And the first time I lost, like, I don't know, fucking 7,000 points, whatever the fuck that equates to, I don't even know, because I didn't lose it again because I thought that was bullshit and I put it off, uninstalled, and went on to Star Wars Squadrons instead, which I blasted through. Finished, campaign done. Quite good, liked it. Kind of fancy playing it because I've got a flight stick for the PC, and I'm sure it was free on PC or fucking Sun. It's included Game Pass. I don't know, but I quite fancy trying it with the flight stick. So you can maybe convince. I think Gavin's got a flight stick.
I do. I have a HOTAS One flight stick for the Xbox and PC.
So, right, good show off. Mine's is PC only. But yeah, I think that might be a good crack. I did try and play the online side of it, but apparently no one fucking plays it, which is quite a shame.
We could change that.
I quite like the idea of the game. I keep meaning to play. It's one of those games that I keep meaning to play, and it kind of gave me Wing Commander feels, which is why I picked it up many moons ago. And then I discovered that it was one of those games that is VR compatible.
Yeah.
So if I plug my Quest into my PC, I can play it with my VR on, and I can't play games for as long if I've got the VR on, but I want to play that game in VR.
Yeah. To fucking sit in an X-Wing.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, you don't have to worry about, it's really confusing because you don't have to worry about like your right stick to look around, things like that, because you just need to look around.
Yeah.
So it's trying to get used to going against everything that you normally know about gaming to play it. So yeah, it's like I do like 10-15 minute shots and then I forget the controls and then I have to go back, and I think I've played the tutorial about 20 times. But never really got much further. But yeah, it's another one of those ones that I really need to sit down with a day at least just to like break through that barrier.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not even a long game. I think I'd done it over the course of like 2 nights, just purely focusing on the campaign side, and it's quite good in as much as you get to play it from both sides. So you do the sort of rebel story as well as the what the fucking Jesus Ross, what they called
The Empire.
The Empire. But I mean, flying a TIE fighter is nowhere near as cool as flying a fucking X-Wing, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, that's it. They are the cool kids.
I do just wish it had like an out of cockpit view, because I want to see the whole X-Wing, not just what's in front of me. But yeah, that comes recommended, and I hope we can, even if we can arrange a night where a few of us get on just to play it. Because as I said, the online servers were pretty much dead.
Is it crossplay also? If you could all be on the same thing?
No, I'm sure it is crossplay.
Okay.
Is it one of those PC with Xbox crossplays, or is it a proper crossplay?
I need to look it up properly, but I'm sure it was everything, because I seem to recall when it first came out, like playing against PC and PlayStation people. But I could be lying. That could be a totally different game that I'm thinking of, because quite a few of them are coming out and doing that now, and I'm all for it. It's great.
So when you say Xbox and PC crossplay, do you mean crossplay that actually works?
Yeah, that would be the one.
I was just going to say, most importantly for Si, do you get to see your own legs in the games? I know that's an important thing for him.
Oh no, you're just a camera that's floating in a cockpit, man.
Yeah, you don't need to see your legs in like flying games. It's walking games. Legs are important.
Xbox even realised that and posted about it the other day, didn't they say?
Yes.
That was great. I can love Dave finding that.
Of all the people that was going to find it, it was Dave. So
I mean, it just shows you that the people on the Xbox marketing account or whatever, they clearly listen to this podcast. So
aye. So if they want to throw some free games over to,
that we can't play until next year.
they're free. If they throw us free games, they're free.
Touchy subject, isn't it?
It'll be this year's excuse. We've got like a marketing opportunity with Xbox. We show them our legs. They show us some games.
I'm done. Fucking done.
Myself, I had a month where I was pretty much going on.
I mean, I wasn't done, but you carry on.
All right, well, you done.
That just meant I'm just done with you.
Okay,
Sorry,
what else have you got then?
I've told you I've had a great month. We'll just we'll bookend that there. Star Wars Squadrons was good. The other game that the game that I've put most time into this month, I went back to 2017 and played the original XCOM. Or not the original XCOM. Is it the original XCOM? I don't know. The
Like
Xbox
XCOM.
360 XCOM.
Ah,
Because I picked up XCOM 2 just before the turn of the new year. And I want to play that, but I can't do that without playing the first one first. So yeah, that took up a good 3 weeks of sort of game time. Really fucking enjoyed it. I think it came to a point where I'd started playing it and I was like, right, I want my squad to come with me through the whole game. So it was like anytime someone died, I'd have to reload the save and try and go. And I don't know if any of you guys do it, but when I'm playing something like that, if you've got like customizable squads, I'll name them after people that I know. So
100%.
I had the little Midlife Gamer crew going. So Dave Southall, he was there with his big massive rod machine gun. A few of the other sort of chaps from Friday nights, stuff like that. And what became clear to me is I kept getting Dave killed in like increasingly violent ways. I mean, it got to the point that in order to progress the game, I stopped the whole save scumming, and I would just be like, if he dies, he dies. But what I had to do after that was like remake people if they died. So yeah, Dave basically became the fucking Kenny of my XCOM playthrough. He pretty much got sent in first to sort of scout the area, and he usually died. I blew him up with rocket launchers. He got blown up by cars. Fucking alien thing went and face fucked him and turned him into a zombie. That kind of shit. So but no, that really quite enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to going on and doing XCOM 2, and we'll keep up the Dave's Dead sort of theme as we go through that. I think. Sorry, Dave.
If you can find a way that he gets killed by milk bottles.
I'll need to try and record as much of it as possible. Put together a Dave's Dead montage. But it was all fun. That's pretty much me for progress. Other than, well, I mean, it's not progress, but we do the regular Gears and Beers thing on a Friday. Although Gears is taking an extended period of absence, and we just play a load of other shite. Among Us, Call of Duty, so even some Discord nights where we just sit and Dave streams some of his weird and wonderful library, and we just have a good drink, have a laugh, and regret everything the next morning. And 9 times out of 10 we get to see Gav's head because he falls asleep.
Yeah, sorry.
I think he's taken over Neil in terms of falling asleep the most. So
The crown has been passed.
anyway, over to you, Si. What you been playing?
Well, I've dabbled in. I've actually dabbled in XCOM 2. I picked it up many moons ago
Did you kill Dave?
because I don't think Dave was actually in my squads at the time I played XCOM. But I did like the whole thing the same as you. It's like the Midlife Gamer crew would go on there, and the problem I had with it, and this is how my piles get big, and I'm sure I've mentioned this previously, is if I haven't, we're about to again. I picked up XCOM. I fucking loved XCOM. It was amazing. And then Steam done its thing where it goes, hey, you played XCOM. You might like this one. And you might like this game. And it's the same similar game to XCOM. So I picked it up. And then I started playing them and going, right, the reason I liked fucking XCOM was because it was XCOM. All these other games that are in the same genre that do exactly the same thing aren't as good as XCOM because they're not XCOM. They're just a pale imitation of it. So yeah, that's how I got a lot of XCOM-y type shite on my pile, which I've binned off, and I went into XCOM 2, and I've just picked it up and played the tutorial, and I've not had enough time to get back to it. So it's just literally, it's not really any spoilers. It's just the tutorial, and it's like the big reveal of the commander coming back to life after 20 years. But I know once I get into it, it's going to be one of those ones where you just want to play that, and you look at different ways of doing each mission, so that if you do fail, you're going back to it and reanalyzing what you've done, and I know it's going to be a time killer. So we've got that to come as well. I dabbled in Idol Slayer, which is a little 8-bit adventure capitalist RPG endless runner type of deal. I basically picked it up because I kept seeing in my bottom right hand corner of Steam Matthew Moore constantly popping up as playing it. There's no story. There's nothing into it. You literally just collect coins, you upgrade your kit, you keep going like a venture capitalist, and then you ascend to the heavens, which resets everything but gives you a bonus so you can earn more money, which you can then upgrade other aspects, and so on and so forth. And it's just literally a good little palate cleanser. I've ditched nothing this month. I've played a few evergreens, so WWE Supercard via BlueStacks, just grinding that in preparation for a new tier incoming over the next few days. Dabbled in Premium Bowling, which is a Quest VR title, which is great for a little pick up and 10-minute play. It does exactly what it says in the tin. It's VR, it's in a bowling alley, you play 10-pin bowling. And then I had a big completion buzz on the VMF types games, the interactive movie games that Dave was fond of last year. Some of them are alright, some of them are fucking shite. The Complex, that was pretty much an interactive movie, okay for what it was. Bloodshore, another interactive movie. More if Love Island and Battle Royale had a bastard love child.
So are these all like the sort of choose your own adventure type things?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much it's
go
like
left, go right.
you're watching the movie, blah 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 blah. Do you save Bob or do you save Carol? You've got about 5 seconds to make your choice. You make a choice, the movie carries on, depending on what choice you've made, and so on and so forth. She Sees Red, really well acted, but really shittily poorly dubbed. It was just painful. I was just clicking on things just to get through it, and because I couldn't stand the dubbing. It's literally so bad. It's not even the mouths don't go with the words, because that's obviously not going to happen with dubbing, but they've not even put any effects on the dubbing. So if they go into a fridge, they go into a kitchen and they speak, and it sounds like they're in a recording studio, and then they go into the hallway and it sounds like they're in the same recording studio. Because they are, and it's just that bad. It's really bad audio. Who pressed mute on Uncle Marcus, which is just the fucking god-awful, poorly acted pandemic Zoom quiz game. And finally, Old Man's Journey, which is just a story-based puzzler where you move hills up and down to help the old man on his journey. So, like, over the course of 7.5, 8 hours, I managed to knock out 5 to 6 games off the pile, which was a good thing for the whole aiming to complete 30 games of any description for the year. I think I'm up to something like 15 or 16 now, and we're not halfway through yet. So I'm in front of schedules, which is exactly what I want to be.
I think XCOM 2 is next on my sort of hit list.
So take notes and compare.
But I mean, I would say, I think Gears Tactics was my sort of gateway drug into XCOM. I played that, and then I liked the sort of gameplay loop in it, and I was like, it's pretty much based on XCOM, so that's what made me go back and then play XCOM. Only one little gripe with XCOM is playing it on Xbox with a controller. I think I'd much prefer to do it the old keyboard and mouse like I'd done Gears Tactics with, but It is what it is.
It's one of those games. There are certain games for me that have to be played with a mouse. I can't. I mean, I've got the Elite controller plugged into the PC for a lot of games, but there are some games where I just, when I'm trying to pinpoint something with a controller, just zoom in the fucking mouse cursor around the screen, or losing it and not being able to find it, or something stupid like that, which you don't tend to do with a mouse and keyboard.
Wonder what Jayce has been playing.
I think he's been busy in the broom cupboard.
So Jayce has been playing Rocket League. I think we pretty much know that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's pretty much it. There's been some Rocket League there and some. What's his
Probably
other
Slay
game?
the Spire.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Job done. That's it. Thanks very much. He's got fuck all left for his
I mean,
pile.
Since he's not here, I can probably get away with saying I did try Slay the Spire, and I didn't like it. So I could say that without getting around.
When you say you didn't like it, Ross, come on, tell us what you really think.
It was boring. It's too slow for me, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of sort of turn-based fighty. I prefer real-time stabby.
This is your editor speaking. Anyone who's just mentioned the word XCOM 715 times in this episode and then says they don't like turn-based fighting is obviously a dickhead.
Gave it a good 3-4 hours, but just couldn't get in it. Sorry.
Okay, let's move on to some quick, hard, and fast questions to get some of them out of the way. Dave Packer asked, do any of you have surnames that rhyme with a verb, e.g. Jason Stokes?
No.
No. Well, I suppose Russ Heaves.
Well, he probably was this morning, but
Fucking heaving all damn it.
But other than that, no. Joe Cooper asks, is Russ Abbott still alive? Well, if you don't know Joe, we don't. Russ Abbott was your thing. You're supposed to keep in tabs on the man, Joe, and you fucking abandoned him already.
I thought the rumour was he was in witness protection. We couldn't talk about it.
What, Joe or Ross?
Both.
Well, I'll take one. I've got to go back to one of Dave's questions. What game that isn't Rocket League do you think you've put the most time into over the years? Now, Si's probably got to be something about Mickey Mouse, but carry on, Si.
No, it's not Mickey Mouse. I'll tell you the game that I've pumped so much time into.
It's got to be Football Manager in it.
It is Football Manager. It's the one game I really want to play right now, and because I love playing it. But I also know that if I play it, that's the fucking podcast fucked. Just having a quick look ski. I haven't got 23 on Steam. I've got 23 on Game Pass, so that doesn't give me a time of how much I spent. But Steam, I've spent 1,691.5 hours in Football Manager 2022, which isn't as much as some people, but that's still a lot of fucking time when you've got other games that you should be playing.
I've just looked at mine on True Achievement, and it's fucking shameful, to be honest. I've been embarrassed about how long I spent in both those games. The Division, the original one, I spent 175 hours on. And I've just looked up Division 2. I've currently spent 402 hours on.
Ooh.
That's rookie numbers, man.
Go on then.
Yeah, if we're talking Xbox or since Xbox 360 onwards, I think Battlefield 4 still tops the list at 900 and something hours. But if I go back, way back, PlayStation 2, SOCOM 2, which was my first sort of real introduction to online play. After the leaderboard reset, the hours I had on it clocked 1,600, and I'd played it for over 2 years before that leaderboard was reset as well. So it's probably at a minimum 2,000 hours. I was at school. Well, not playing it at school, but it used to be the case that I'd finish school, go straight on PlayStation, boot up SOCOM, and then I'd sit on it until I went to bed pretty much. Mum used to come in and leave me food that I'd kind of devour, and then just like prison food, just send it back through the door.
I think there's the benefit of being young. You don't appreciate when you were younger that you could just do that. You come home from school and just pump the time between finishing school and going to bed into a game.
Not to get sidetracked, but it's SOCOM 2 I've got to thank for basically finding Midlife Gamer. Although I was definitely not midlife when I found it. I was just a wee boy. It was Stevie B and he was in a group of guys, the Robotech Community Club. So I started playing a lot of games with them, and they've went off and done sort of a couple of them have got like their own websites and stuff out there. I got speaking to Stevie, and then that led to me coming down to Birmingham one year and met everybody, and yeah, the rest kind of history. And I managed to get through that without saying Stevie groomed me, so there we go.
Speaking of grooming, I wonder how Jayce is getting on.
Dinner date's going well, mate.
Let's go with another one. Let's ask one of Julie's questions while we're here. What do you boys do when you get in a gaming funk?
Don't think I can say that out loud, can
Other than that,
I? Nah, to be fair, I if I do find myself not playing games, I'll just pig out and watch a load of shit on Netflix or an other streaming service. I do go through phases of that where I'll just sit and binge shit, and then eventually that the gaming comes back.
Same for me, mate. I like to binge watch a series now and again, and if you get a series that sort of grabs you and makes you want to sort of stay up till 2-3 o'clock just binge watching episodes, then usually get tired of that and gravitate back to gaming.
I don't say I binge watch programs, but I've got the Marvel universe that I'm still trying to get through. So, what have we missed this month? Ross, you've been delving into the databanks and seeing everything that has come before this recording. So, what have we missed?
Going to the start of the month, we've missed Redfall, or Redfall as it's commonly known.
I think it's commonly known as Redfall these days.
Yeah. Bag of dicks.
Yeah, that's a bullet missed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I've said in past shows I wasn't exactly hyped for it anyway, so I wasn't particularly surprised. There's some Zelda game or something came out. Don't know.
Does anyone play that?
You think they would have advertised that, wouldn't you?
I heard somewhere it was a 10 out of 10, but yeah, nah. To be honest, I played the other one. What's this thing called? Fuck knows. Not Breath of the Wild. That was the first one. So I played that on my Switch when I had it, and I couldn't get into it. I'm not saying it's a crap game, just one of those games that's not for me.
I've never played a Zelda game. I have got Breath of the Wild on the shelf here, but I've never played a Zelda game and don't really feel any urge to go and pick that little card up and stick it in the Switch either.
Nah.
What I played was Ocarina of Time.
What else did we have? Another bag of complete shit, apparently, was Lord of the Rings Gollum.
No, a movie tie-in being shite.
Is it a movie tie-in?
It's not a movie tie-in. There was never a film about Gollum, was there?
I mean, I think it's set. It's meant to take place between Hobbit and what's it called? Fellowship. Yeah, that sort of bit in between, where he's got slightly more hair than you've seen him in the movies. But yeah, that's came out and it's not going well for it, I don't think.
Slightly more hair and problems with his ring. Sounds like you, Ross.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm missing out. The only other one was it Lego 2K Cars, something.
That looked decent.
I like Lego. I like cars, but not enough. 2K Drive. Jesus Christ. That's maybe something I'd pick up down the line, but certainly not crying that I'm missing it.
Not looking into what it is or seeing anything about it. Is that not just making a full game out of what they did with Horizon a few years ago?
Maybe more building of the cars. I used to have a Lego game on was it Lego Racers back on the PlayStation 1, where you kind of had free reign to build a car out of like a bag of bricks. And I've not really got a creative bone in my body, so I can picture something really intricate and really nice looking, and then when it comes to building it, it's just like fucking square blocks.
As long as it runs and it wins the race, that'd be me happy.
Well, the Lego Forza was really good. I enjoyed that. I've just been disappointed that they haven't done another one. They've gone with a rally season on the last Forza.
I did the big pre-order bundle of that Forza that had. It was the British one, wasn't it? That had the Lego.
Yeah, Forza 4. What was it?
Aye. I bought the big pre-order of that because my boy was really into Forza, and I thought, well, fuck it, he can play on my account and he'll get all the coins and that for me to go and buy shit. But then he had his own account, which fucked that idea up. Yeah, well, that's what I'm just thinking. If I do find myself looking at that 2K drive and I'm thinking, oh, I quite want to do that, I've got the Forza version that I can jump into to scratch that itch, I think, if I need to.
I think that's pretty much the biggest releases. I know there was some free-to-play thing came out. Was it Warlander? I think Dave's been hyping that up on Midlife Gamer as a sort of cross between Chivalry and I can't remember what he said. Gav, you help me out.
I mean, as soon as he said Chivalry, I stopped listening, mate, to be honest. I fucking hate that game.
Dave spoke highly of it. Something maybe worth looking at some point. Don't know where we fit with free games, but I've got enough on my plate right now than getting sucked into some free-to-play thing that's probably got to take hours to fucking finish.
Yeah, a free game is nice, but it's not helping us reduce the pile in any shape or form. He says after just admitting to like downloading Idol Slayer, which was a free game that sucks time and doesn't have any fucking
End.
end to it at all. It's got 586 fucking achievements on it, but other than that, there's not a lot to do on it. Right, let's get on with another few questions because we have tons of them. Dave again asks, if we worked in the games industry, what would our role be? So, Gav, what would your role be in the games industry?
I'd like to do something like to do with like story development, and games need a good story. And some of my favourite games have got really good storylines to them, so I think I'd like to do something like that.
I thought you were going to go for something like, IP lawyer or something.
Oh fuck, that sounds boring as shit, mate.
What about you, Ross?
I'd just be in the back end. Wait a minute. Let's say that's the wrong question. No, I'd probably just work in the background somewhere.
Not the
fucking
back end.
IT infrastructure. Stick to what I'm good at. Well, I say good at. It's what I get paid for normally. So, if it is something that I can't do, I'd like to. If I had the talent, I'd quite like to be in the sort of design team. Coming up with character models and like villain, bad guys, monsters, that type of shit. But yeah, I mean, I can't draw, so yeah. What would you say?
I have the same problem as you. It's like I like to be in like the development side of it, but I can't draw for shit. So I'd kind of like to be the spitballing ideas and coming out with the new IPs, the new ideas of things that hasn't been done before, and then let everyone else do the work to actually get it to come to life.
Basically, start a company and just hire lots of people.
Yeah,
Make my
why
game.
not? Bob Saxon asks, what are our views on the future of PSVR 2?
Nice, but not at that price.
You've got about a grand buy-in, haven't you? The time you factor in a PS2, not a PS2, PS5 and a VR headset. But, I mean, the tech is really, really impressive. I'm interested to see where they can take it. No, they've done the PlayStation Sony showcase last week. They showed off Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4 in VR. That looked incredible, but we've spoke before. I don't do Resident Evil or horror in VR. I think this is the kind of generation for the tech. It's starting to get a foothold in there. My sort of preference, I think, would be see what Meta come out with next.
Well, I think Meta might have just got the edge for it for me because the PSVR2 isn't wireless again, is it? Whereas Meta is completely wireless. You can go wide if you want to plug it into your PC, obviously, but for the freedom of moving around,
Yeah.
I think Meta just edges it because of that. Julie asks, if you wasn't doing the Year of Shame podcast, what podcast would you love to do, stroke host?
Probably do something along the comic/movie side of things. It'd actually probably be a good way to get me back into reading some of the comics that I've stockpiled over the years and borrowed from people. So it'd be nice to have a reason to actually read some books.
No. Gav, what about you? Is there any podcast that you would love to do?
I quite like the sort of conversational podcasts. The sort of two or three people having a conversation, and on all sorts of genres. Really, it's something I find quite interesting. Obviously, it depends on who's on there and what they're talking about. But
Not a beer brewing podcast. No?
Beer drinking podcast?
potentially, yeah. I mean, I could do something like that. I've got friends that do one. I got one friend that's got quite a popular one at the moment. But yeah, Possibly.
For me, you might actually see what I would prefer to do elsewhere shortly. It should be released now the time we listen to this podcast. I've actually got another podcast in the running with some Euroshame alumni, Stu Whitehouse and Kath McCauley, and we've brought over Kath's brother Rob as well for a four-man team. The podcast is called Album Armageddon. And basically, we are taking two albums from a single artist, matching up their tracks and discussing those tracks, voting on which track is the best, and then creating super albums from winning tracks. So if you love the sound of my voice, then give that one a listen. And if you don't like the sound of my voice, don't worry, there's 3 other people you can listen to. So still head over there and download that one as well.
Yeah, I definitely prefer listening to Stu's voice, to be honest.
So do I.
If your music taste is shit, I won't listen along. But
Let's put it this way: our music taste is pretty eclectic with what we've picked for like artists for the first few episodes. So it's like, and it's changing by the week depending on people dying and not dying.
was that Tina Turner making an appearance then?
No, Rolf Harris.
Damn it! We nearly got through a full fucking show without mentioning a pedo.
And there's me worried it was going to be all Disney albums.
We did actually consider it, but no, we decided not to do the Disney albums. So, leading out from that, what have we got coming up this month?
So this month we've got Street Fighter 6 coming out on basically everything on June 2nd. We've got Diablo 4 coming out on June 6th. Amnesia: The Bunker coming out on I Forget. Layers of Fears coming out on June 15th. Alien Dark Descent coming out on June 20th. AEW Fight Forever on June 29th. And with me, the thing that I sort of look forward to most in that list has got to be Street Fighter 6. That looks awesome. It's everywhere you look at all the social media channels and YouTube adverts and everything. And that does look pretty good. I know Dave Southall's played it on the beta test and he was raving about it.
I don't keep up to date with the Street Fighters. Has that been reset? And then because there's been more than fucking 6 of those.
No, I think the problem with Street Fighter is every time they bring one out, they bring out 50 different fucking versions of it. Take Street Fighter 4, for example. There's Street Fighter 4, there's Street Fighter 4 Arcade, there's Super Street Fighter 4, Super Duper Upper Ultra Street Fighter 4. It made it interesting when we all picked it up to play on one of the Friday nights. It was like, what, every time someone speaks about playing Street Fighter 4, I have to dig out the link to send and go, it's this one, you need to buy this one, and it's just a mess.
Surely you forgot the Super Turbo edition.
Fucking Super Turbo Ultra Gangrene edition, I don't fucking know.
So it's not like a Mortal Kombat 1 type scenario then?
I mean, has Street Fighter even got a story? I don't know. I just put it on and mash buttons until I lose.
Well, the Street Fighter film barely had a story, so I think it's a high expectation the game would have one.
Did you see? I think it's Legendary Pictures have picked up the film and TV rights to Street Fighter. So you might be getting another movie at some point.
Woohoo, can't wait.
I mean, it can't be any worse than the previous one.
I mean, there's some redeeming features. Kylie Minogue was in it, so I mean, it's not all bad.
I think the only one that really stands out on that list for me is Diablo 4. That would definitely be a FOMO thing. Saying that, I haven't got time to play a game fucking 57,000 times just so I can get some better loot. So I think that one would be a miss for me.
I think Diablo 4 could be my Joker, but I don't know. Yeah, I think the last one on the list I put in specifically for you, Si. We all know that you love your greasy, oiled men. So I don't even know what AEW is.
I think from what I'm seeing on social medias, they're being very coy of what screens they're showing. It seems that some of the models are fucking awful, which is now starting to come to light. Yeah, I'm not scratching that itch at all at the moment.
I think I'll struggle with Diablo. The only thing I'm really weighing up is, like, I mean, if I was to get Diablo just now, there's still 6 months left of the year. The only other game I think that'll kind of make me waver will be Starfield. The way that's going, that's got to come out with like fucking 30 days left of the fucking challenge. So what's 30 days? I might as well get some enjoyment out of it.
The game that's actually making me wonder if it will make me wobble is, and it shouldn't be, is the new FIFA that's not FIFA. Yeah, it's more to do with the fact of what are they going to do with it.
It's going to be the exact same, but instead of saying FIFA, it's just going to be say EA.
yeah, that's what I was wondering if that's what it's going to be. And it's like, I didn't do FIFA 23, but my boy did, but it looked like much of a muchness. To be fair, it looks just like as all FIFAs have done. It's just a carriage for FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us money.
I think as well they've made it more difficult just to play online with a mate. There needs to be another alternative out there just to have sort of a kickabout online with some mates and us have some fun doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Sensible soccer for the fucking win. Right, let's lead on to our final few questions for the month. Bob Saxon asks, what's the best 8-bit arcade game and why is it Pac-Man?
It's fucking not, is it?
It's not
I mean,
Pac-Man.
if I was picking, I'd have to go Space Invaders. Just pure nostalgia.
Not wishing to get technical on you, Ross, but Space Invaders isn't technically an 8-bit game, is it? It's unless you played it on the Atari 7800, which was an 8-bit console.
No, I'm going to say Space Invaders anyway.
I'm going to go with something I used to pump 10p out of 10p into at my local fish and chip shop. Ya Kung Fu.
I'm going to go with a game that's not really an 8-bit game, but was available on an 8-bit console, and that's Combat.
But my choice of Space Invaders isn't valid. Fuck you, Gavin.
Combat was available and worked on the Atari 7800, and it is an awesome, awesome game. The level of sort of subterfuge and bastardry you can get up to in that game is unbelievable.
And our final question of the month is from Julie again. And what was the first game you personally bought with your own hard cash?
I think I'm taking that as not like bought with like pocket money or anything like that, because I can remember going to like the local sort of computer game shop and buying sort of games for the Atari 800 on cassette with pocket money. But the first game I bought with my own money from like my first job, I bought an N64 that came with GoldenEye, and I'd started the job just before Christmas, and that was the first one I remember buying with my own money that I made myself.
The pocket money one I'm out of, because like the C64 used to have the games that were like £2 on a cassette.
Yeah.
And that was pocket money. Get your £2 down the shop, pick up a new game for the C64, rush home to wait 15 minutes for it to load. Happy days. Birthday, Christmas money, I would say probably the original Super Mario Kart on the SNES. That I actually bought with my own hard-earned job money. Probably be Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1. What about you, Russ?
I rack my brain here. 'Cause I know, like, birthday money wise, it would have been something on the Mega Drive. I can't remember. It's too long ago. My first sort of job. I had a paper round. Like I was sort of 11, 12, and I remember because it was really shit money. I got four whole pounds a week for delivering. It was like one of these weekly papers. So it took me about 10 fucking weeks. And I saved up to go and buy Deus Ex, the Invisible War on the original Xbox. And I only really remember that because I played it solid for a week and got to the final cutscene and the game hard crashed. So I took it back to Tesco, switched it back, came home and it crashed again. So we took it back and I got my money back. And I've never seen the end of that game. And I can't remember what I'd done with the money after the fact, so yeah.
So that only leads the normal domestics. You know where we are. You are listening to the show, so you know where we are. Why not tell a friend?
Tell two friends.
Let's tell two friends, eh? Especially ones that are in broom cupboards. They always like to know. You can find us on Spotify if you don't listen there. We also have a Facebook group. Just search for Year of Shame and you'll find us. YouTubes, you can listen to the show on the Tube of You, and that's at MLGYOS. You can find us on Discord, link in the Midlife Gamer group, and you can email us our yearofshame@gmail.com, and we might actually open it up and have a look to see if there's any there next month.
Well, we won't, because not one of us has access to that Gmail account, but
Well, okay then. Don't bother emailing us. We're not going to read it.
I'm sure Stu can pick it up. He's the holder of the keys to the Year of Shame Empire.
All it needs to do is to say bye, and off we fuck. And Jayce will perform his magic.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, this is the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. And if you didn't, tough titties.